Good evening, guys. Well, I got another big box right here from my favorite place, JLC PCB. The best place, good price. Now the package in the mail that we got some PCBs. First, I'm going to go ahead and show you this. So here we have another version of the F5. These are the Cascode versions. So I'm going to do a video on those later on. And right now I'll go out and say thanks for Gareth for helping me do these boards. And they turned out really good. I know he doesn't like SMD stuff, but I do. And just so you guys know, JLC does, JLC PCB I should say correctly, does purple boards now. And I bought a pair of these. Actually I bought, what did I buy? I think I bought 15, so I got 14 to do some giveaways and some selling, and then one for just to go on my collection of PCBs under my bench, like I need more, but whatever. But today, we're going to talk about, do we need speaker protection boards in our amplifiers? I've been running no speaker protection in any of my amplifiers for the last 10 years, and I'm talking the ELF Minis that I have, my ELF 2s, the F5s, many other amplifiers that I've built, the Gene Haregas. I've never put a speaker protection circuit on there, but does that mean that we need it or not need it? I don't know, but I have some very high-end fancy speakers in my room over there that I want to protect, and I designed this is my other one that I designed. It worked, but I failed because I missed a trace on there. So this one is much better. This one was going to be the same, theoretically the same idea, same size. Maybe the new one's a little bit bigger, but the new one works. I have it right here. I tested it. So a bunch of guys on YouTube or on Facebook there were saying, "Oh, that's a stupid way to do it. Relays are way better. All this other crap." And I was just like, "Yeah, right." So today's video, I'm going to talk about the SSR, my red ones, and I'm going to show you guys it working with some sound through it, and then I'm going to show you on the scope when I put 12 volts mimicking a DC out on the amplifier to turn off the SSR. Right now I have it at 100 nanoseconds or 100 seconds. Can't remember. I'll have to put a little tag in the video for that. I can't remember what I wrote down, what we measured a long time ago. And this video right here, I measured it in a video on my YouTube channel. Maybe I'll link that below, but it works just fine. And it worked. So the new revision actually holds a binding post properly. That was one of the things I failed on this. I was off by, I think 1.5 mils. And this one actually fits it perfectly. I think I have a pair of binding posts usually on the edge of something. But anyways, I have some right here. I have a big baggie of them that I bought. So the whole purpose of, figures I have a whole baggie full of them, and I reach in and I grab something that's not even a binding post. So the whole idea of this SSR, the way I laid it out like this, was to, when you have your binding posts on your amplifier, and they're already bolted in the chassis, the binding post will come behind, or not the binding post, but the SSR will come behind it, exactly like this. So if it's mounted to the chassis already, this just bolts to it, like this. And I had a couple different kinds of binding posts, some really high-end ones, some really low-end ones. Different people buy different things for their projects, so I understand that. So I made these go, I don't know if it's going to focus on that. Maybe. The board actually goes side to side, and you can center it after you got it on there. But my main objective was to make it so this little PCB had nothing else on it to mount it. It just mounted right to the binding posts on your amplifier and go from there. I am working on a stereo version. This was my other failed one because I totally gapped out when I put the new comparator on there. I made a mistake, but hey, boards were cheap. So this one works great. It's right there. On the PCB, I have these, where are they? Screw terminals that you can use wires to. So if you have to take this off or work on the amplifier and stuff like that, you can disassemble it real easily. These screw terminals right here, it's not going to focus on that. I know that for sure because I got face tracking turned on. But these allow you to solder them to the PCB like this. Hold it from behind, right? And you can screw your wire to it with a little spade on there. Works great. And I also made it so it's compact, which was, I really wanted it small, and of course SMD, because I really like SMD. But anyways, it's working. I built a couple of them since Gareth helped me out. He's really good at fine-tuning traces and doing really good polys in the software we use for designing circuit boards. So I made him too. And of course, I'm out of 1K resistors, so I had to do a big order. And last night, I ordered a whole bunch of stuff. So tonight, I'm going to show you with the scope and the power supply it working. With my signal generator, I'm just going to throw a 1 kilohertz signal in there to show you that it's got signal and then it turns off. But I'm going to move the camera around and I'll put a video up and we'll show you how to do that. Okay? Hold on. Okay. So just turn the scope on. I'll have the power supply set to 12 volts. We'll do current, I don't know if you guys are going to see this or not, but we'll just set it to that. 12 volts for the source. And we're going to use channel 2. We'll give it 15 volts to pretend as it's a real voltage. Actually, we'll go 20 volts. 21, fine, good enough. Milliamps, we'll give it 6. Okay, so the scope's on. The SSR is not on. So the first thing we'll do is we'll turn on the signal generator, 4 volts, 1 kilohertz. We'll turn it on. We have nothing. Okay, so if I go over to channel 1 and turn this on, the SSR's got power. Won't see anything there. The little light will come on though in a second. Oh, so the SSR's on now. We got 1 kilohertz going through that, meaning that it's got sound. And I even plugged in my speaker here for you guys, which is over there, to show you we got tone, which is very annoying, right? Okay. And to mimic a fault, I'm going to do two, I'm going to see if I can do, I'll have to go 2 videos, or 2 little shots, because one to show you that the light goes off, and then I'll do another one touching it the same thing, because I don't have a wide screen. Maybe I can. Hold on. Let's try it. So we got to turn it on though. Channel 2. We got to give it 20 volts, and I'll touch it. It's going to be hard to do because I got to touch this and do this. And you'll see that the sound will stop. See? Lights off, and it's back on. The reason why it's back on is because it's detected no more voltage there. The one thing that's also nice about this is it acts as a soft start. So when your amplifier is turning on, I think I've got it set on here about 10 seconds it takes to turn on. So right now we could try that again. We can turn the SSR off. And it's off instantly, of course, right? Turns off instantly. And if I turn it on, you can see that there's a pre-delay there. It might be less than 10 seconds. Now it's about 5 seconds. But that can be changed by changing this cap right here. Right? So we got protection. Little green light. If I hover over this the right way, I've got a light above my desk here that's really bright, so it's probably drowning that out. But I'll go like this. If I touch it, the light's off. No signal. Right? Pretty simple. So there's the circuit. I'll zoom in a little bit here and I can talk about it a little bit. So we have the MOSFETs right here. Of course, this is going to be in my way. It's just my clip for my signal generator. So as we look at this, we have power in, DC, which has to be isolated 100% from the amplifier. I have these little boards that are going to use these, which is a little circuit board right here. I'll pull it over. This circuit board right here, which holds the bigger version of the little switch mode power supply. And it's got a fuse on there and 2 terminals, so that way, or ACN, sorry, I'll hold it the wrong way. ACN comes in here, which comes off your main switch of your amplifier with a little fuse. And then goes through a little switch and power supply. There's an LED to show that the switch mode power supply's got power, and then there's 2 connectors for power to go to each terminal or each SSR for power. This draws very little power. As you can see, it's drawing 0.02 amps. Very, 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 very little. But anyways, let's get back to how this is drawn, or how this works. So we got power. We got speaker ground, so this goes from your amplifier or your star ground in your power supply. Speaker in, so speaker in goes to one FET, and when it's turned on, it passes through here and goes to the other speaker out. I put a extra wire on there just for testing and for if anybody wants to mount this another way and use it. I do have some other ideas to do that. And then we have the circuit that controls everything. There's a optical coupler right there, and then there's the VOM and the rest of the circuit. There's a little tiny transistor right there that turns on the VOM. Not going to get into too much details, but that's it right there. Tiny little thing. And yes, I don't know how well this will turn out, but as you can tell, this was all hand soldered by my fingers. Well, actually it wasn't on my fingers, it was done by my soldering iron, and having a JVC soldering station that I can hot swap tips going from my really large one to what's in here now. I think that's my 3mm to what's in here. Swatch it over like that, right? We just swap them over to a really, really fine one. All you have to do is just swap them over, right? Pretty simple. That's why I bought that a year ago. And tweezers. And I do it by hand. So, enough rambling. Let's talk a little bit more the other way. As you can tell, I got into some description of the SSR working and the SSR, how it's laid out, and my basic idea. I do have a couple ideas, like the stereo version, and a couple other things I want to do for guys that are doing monoblocks. In my personal version over there, I don't know if I'll be able to use this, so I'm going to be coming up with some ideas how to make it small but effective for people who want to build monoblocks or stereo versions. I did make a PCB a while back. I think it was white, to be honest. Let me just check here. If it's not in there, it'll be on this one maybe? No, not on that one. I think it's in this bucket. So, I did have a version before. This worked. I was missing one trace. But this version was the version that evolved to this version. Except this version that I had, I don't know if it'll focus on that, but we could try. Maybe I'll put a picture in the video. This version had the power supply. If it'll go in there properly. Built in on the SSR. It had a little tiny fuse. It had the full working SSR on there. Just one missed pin. I don't know how I did it, but whatever. Learning. And I think this was like my version 1 that I was trying to make all in one and perfect at the first shot. But its idea was to also have this bolted to the binding posts on the amplifier. But I could see that sometimes it'd be a pain because not everybody uses these manufactured binding posts. Some people use higher end ones and stuff like that. So I'm going to come up with some ideas how to make it so this is small and all in one unit for monoblocks or people who want to just have speakers protection with the power supply built into it. So, and these little RAC02 switching power supplies are really nice. They're about $12 and they're small, so it's compact, so it's really nice and easy to use. But with this SSR, you can't use any of the power from the amplifier. It has to be totally isolated 100%. But we'll go into that maybe in another video and go from there. So I'm going to go try edit this video. And just so you guys know, what am I at today? We're at, let's put this away, 525 subscribers. Thank you to everybody that subscribes and likes my videos. Positive comments, negative comments, I don't care. Constructive criticism. How do you say that properly? Constructive criticism. Yes. If you have some, shoot it out there. But I'm going to go edit this video now and put it up in the next couple days. And you guys have a great evening, and thanks for watching. Have a good day. See ya.